Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the new video. Today will be session number 3 on the chart session for Zoom. This time it's gonna be solo. I'm starting a little bit later, so it will be posted on YouTube as soon as possible when this finishes. But very simple video today. We're not gonna go over too much. We're just gonna go over SPY and QQQ and at least 2 more names and set up a trading plan for all of them, and then that'll be it. We'll jump straight into it. Um, Today, I did not expect another 3% day on SPY, but bear market rallies do happen very quickly, and we can see big days on rally days, just like how we are seeing today, 3% on the S&P 500. So what happened here today was we did decide to gap up again today with a decent amount of size or a decent amount of volume towards that 377.87 resistance, which I mentioned yesterday's video. We pretty much hit or ran right into that exact 377.87 resistance, which has been resistance since right here back in September 22nd. Now, ever since we hit that in the first hour or in the second hour, we pretty much consolidated all day today. You can see how we hit that, and then we start to slow down, and we started to sell off a little bit. And we saw a nice hammer reversal on the 15 minutes. It came back up, and we started running to new high of day around 380, 378, which was the high of day. So SPY closed right above that, just 10 cents on the 15 minutes. So SPY closed at 377.97 and the resistance was 377.87. And you can see right here the nice amount buy volume right here on the last 15-minute candle. That was 10 million volume right there, 10.5 just in that single candle right there in the last 15 minutes of the market. So what happens from here? Either there's 2 ways that can happen. There's 2 things that can happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, we continue to break this gap up again and get towards 382, which is giving next resistance on the 1-hour chart or the daily. And then if somehow the market just keeps pushing and surprises everyone, this will keep pushing all the way towards 390 to the very top of the resistance, which is where the big sell-off started. Back over here, you can see you have a big sell-off candle. And this is pretty much where the supply zone sits on the market. So we're not anywhere near that right now. We're just going to be focusing on breaking 377.87, and if we can confirm breaking that with more volume, just like how we did yesterday and today, we will see 382. Also on the daily chart, which on the chart right here, you can see how we have the blue line right here. This blue line, which is the SMA 20 on the daily chart, that is my short-term SMA line. This is pretty much sitting right at 382 resistance as well. So this may be a short-term resistance for SPY before we see a pullback. So tomorrow we may see 382 and then start to pull back somewhere back, maybe 377.87 again, or maybe even back to 371 and then come back up higher towards 390 and come. We'll see what happens from there. We really don't know, but right now, 382 is a target. If 377.87 breaks, and then we'll see what happens from there. If we see a big surprise, we will see 390 next. So let's go in our notepad real quick and create a trade plan for S&P 500. Here we go. So SPY, or you can do also SPX, whichever you prefer. We will do a 380 or 385 call, whichever is up to you. Whatever you guys see has the most open interest and volume in the contract. 380, 385 call over 377.80. Let's just do 378 just to make it just to round it up. And then for target 382. And right after 382 can be straight move all the way up to 390. I'm not sure if we're going to see that tomorrow, but it's possible. You can see how we've been having 3% days, pretty much 11 points in a single day in the market. So that's pretty close to 390 if we actually get to 390 from here at 378. But we'll just put 390 just in case we get close to there. For puts, we can do 375 or 370 put just to be closer. Just to be farther out of the money, I mean. And we'll do that with a if 377 or 378 rejects art, and come back down to for example, today we did see some nice support right here on the 1 hour chart. You can see we did not give up in this area right here. I would say 374.50 and 375.50. So we're gonna have to pretty much plot a support right here in this area. Let's just say it can be right here if you want, but I'm gonna be putting a little box zone. Let's just say it'll be at 374.50 for the next support, because I doubt we will see rejection from here all the way back down to 371 in a single candle. So make sure you are narrowing down your price levels so you have more targets to take your profits. So that'll be your support. And after that, we can see 371. And possibly 71. Or you can do also, I forgot to mention, just under today's gap up, we do have a big gap below from 372.30 all the way to 368. So we do have a lot of gaps to fill. I don't like how we have that right now, because I know for sure that we're going to come back down, but the higher we go, the better that will be for puts in the longer term. So we can either do a breakdown back below 371, which is where the demand zone sits, and then that will mean breaking the range back inside and then coming back down to 364 area and then 357. Or you can play the gap fill down to 372.30 and then 368. So what I'll do is we'll set up both plays just in case. We can do a 365. We'll do 370 put just under 372.30 for gap fill to 368. Or we can do a 370 put or 365 put under 371 for 364, whichever we're seeing. But I would say the best way to go is play the gap fill from 372.30 to 368. But we'll leave it like that for right now. And SPY is pretty much done right now. Now we're gonna move on to QQQ real quick and talk about it. Let's set up a plan for tomorrow. Today, like I mentioned, yesterday's call, we either break this 280 or we reject. Today we decided to gap up all the way from 275 right here, which turned into double top, sold off last hour. And then today we saw a massive gap up from 273 all the way to the high in the first candle at 283. So very big move right there for QQQ. Instead of making its way up like this, we gapped up, which left behind a big gap here again, all the way from 275 and 279. But as long as QQQ is holding above that big range resistance at 280, now acting as support, that is going to be the support. And you can see how today the QQQ did pull back from touching 283 resistance, which I mentioned, and then came back right to 280. And we can see how we have a very nice hammer reversal candle on the 15 minutes, and that is when QQQ reversed back up to the top of the range. So very nice move on QQQ. This one is currently holding the top of the range, and now we are pretty much approaching that 283. Just like what I said on SPY, we break 378, we will move higher. If you correlate those two charts together, they will move together. So QQQ breaks 283, QQQ will move higher towards 287. So very simple. You can play whichever one you want. we will do a 285 or 290 call suggestion over 283 for target of 287.30. 3% day. I don't know if we're gonna see 293, but I'll just put that just in case we see another big move higher in the markets. And then we can do a big put downside below 280, because once we break that, that is going to come back down all the way to 275. So we'll do a 275 put under 280 or target of 275, gap below under 280. And that is it for QQQ. Very simple. We also, on the right side of the chart, we also have the SMA 20 right here coming up around 286. So 287 and 286 will be targets for tomorrow on QQQ. What else do we have? The volume is also pretty low. It's not too much above the average, which is at 60 million. Today we did see around 79, or we saw around 66.7 million volume today on QQQ. The average is 60.5 million, so not much above the average. But the lower the volume is each time we go up, the more dangerous it gets to play calls overnight, and high likely that we will see a big reversal in the markets. Let's go ahead and move on to the next stock. We do have SPY and QQQ done. We can go over Amazon and talk about this one, because this one made a big move today. I did look at this one for calls yesterday, but I ended up picking SPY calls, which did a big move for me as well. But this one did make a big move, and we're gonna talk about it real quick. So Amazon, let's go ahead and update this real quick, because we haven't really made some price levels up here, just in case we break 123. So let's go ahead and update the chart real quick. Today on the right side daily chart, we did try to break above the SMA 120, but instead we closed just below the SMA 100. So that is going to be resistance currently for Amazon daily chart. So we'll put that level around, let's see what level that is, 121.30. And it's going to be around 121.50 tomorrow, because it does move up a few cents each day. SMA 100 daily resistance. And we can do calls over that if you want. But actually the safer way to go is to go with the breaking this big resistance right here at 123.80. And we do have a gap right here at 116.60, and then we have a gap right here at 119. So there's a big gap between these two levels right here on Amazon. So we'll leave it like this for now. Calls above 123.40 would be best for a move towards the gap fill, which is gonna be at 126. 125.50 would be good. We also have another big one right here, which is at 130, 136, but I doubt we will see it anytime this week. So we're not going to worry about that right now. After breaking 123, 123.80, we can see 125.50, which is the next target. And if we do somehow pull back, we can see 119. But there's also another support at 118.80, which is the range resistance now as support. So this was a little tricky. I wouldn't suggest playing Amazon just because of how tricky the chart is right now, but I'll still play it out for you guys just in case you guys want to try playing it. What I'll do is 125 call over 123.80 for target of 125.50. And for puts, there's two ways you can do this. Let's do a 120 put under the gap right here, which is at 120. Under 124 gap for target of 116.80 gap fill. Or you can do 115 put under 119, or we pull back possibly to back to the bottom of the range. What I would suggest doing is playing the puts for the gap fill instead of waiting for 119, because of how safer gap fills are. Because this one has a better setup than, rather than playing the 119 and then coming back down to 113. So I would play this one right here, 120 put under 120 for a gap fill to 116, or you can do 115, whatever works for you guys. We'll do that. What else do we have? Yeah, Microsoft. Yeah, AMD. Haven't seen this one in a while. Here you go. So, Amazon, or sorry, AMD. AMD looks like this one is trying to break that 69 level, which you can see multiple days of resistance right here. We haven't made a move above the 69 in order to make the move higher towards 72 and then 74. So it looks like this one's struggling to break that 69 resistance. So nothing so far, but if we somehow break this tomorrow, we can't continue higher to 72 and then 74. If we do somehow, if we pull back here and this is a rejection, we can come back down to 62, 63 area. Let's go over NVIDIA real quick and see what this one's up to. I do like NVIDIA's chart actually. For a room upside, there's a small gap between 131.50 and 132.50 right here. You can see it got pretty close to filling the gap this morning, but did not end up doing that. Our side of the daily chart is pretty stable while we continue to make lower lows. You can see how each time NVIDIA continued lower, which you can see right here. Made a low, and then RSI made somewhat of a higher low each time we did that. So this was a bullish move right there, bullish divergence for NVIDIA. But the problem was the market did not look very good at the time, and there was just no way that someone could predict that exact time of NVIDIA bouncing or making a big reversal. So here it is, NVIDIA 5% today. We did have a nice move upside today. I would say the best way to play is play calls over 131.50. I just moved in an accident. Okay, we're just gonna do this. All right, so calls over 131.50. This would mean the hourly and daily. So calls over that would be a nice move toward the top right here around 135, which you can see we have a lot of rejection around this area of 135. And then we move towards 139, which is a big resistance. So be careful around that area. Very simple chart. We will do this one real quick and we'll call it a day. We're not going to have too many on the watch list for now. What I will suggest doing is play 135 call over 131.50, or move the target of 135 and 139 if possible. Puts, we can't do puts under 128, so we'll do 125 put under 128. I really don't see this pulling back back under 128 and then getting back inside this choppy range. So actually, let's forget about puts. We're not going to really do puts because there's too much choppiness in this range right here. You really don't see any puts unless we really see flush down. But based on what we're seeing right here, we're seeing too much up and down action, which I would not suggest holding your puts through, because who knows if we would actually get down here without seeing this kind of action. So this is all we have right now. We have SPY. We got the SPY calls and SPY puts. We got the QQQ, we got Amazon, and we also have NVIDIA. So those are your plays for tomorrow. Pretty simple video today, nothing crazy. I will be posting this on YouTube as soon as possible once this finalizes. So If you watch this, please leave a like, ask any questions. If you have any, leave me feedback, please. That's it for today's video. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next session. Take care.